welcome to another interesting edition of the Economy and Politics Show, where we bring you key developments in the socio-economic space as it affects the households. Today, we'll be exploring investment promotion and economic development in Nigeria. My guest is Mr. Emeka Offor, a director with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC. But before we begin this interesting conversation, let us give you a key analysis of what happened last week in the economic space across Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari presented the 2022 budget of economic growth and sustainability to the joint session of the National Assembly. According to the president, the total proposed expenditure is 16.39 trillion naira, while some of the economic assumptions for the 2022 fiscal year include the crude oil benchmark of $57 per barrel, crude oil production of 1.8 million barrels per day, and GDP growth projection of 4.2%. Also last week, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has said that for the deficit in the country's budget to be drastically reduced, concerted efforts must be made by the executive and legislature to explore alternative sources of funding to reduce borrowing. The Senate President explained that such sources of funding can come by way of public-private partnerships on infrastructure projects, as well as compulsory remittances of generated revenues by ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Lawan made this known at the presentation of the 2022 federal budget by President Muhammadu Buhari. And also last week, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria confirmed the nominees for the boards of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency and the Nigerian Upstream Regulatory Commission. We go on a break, and when we return, we'll go on to this conversation for the day.
Tune in to Web TV Daily to stay up to date and informed on the financial market, personal finance, and more. We have got you covered with all your favorite TV shows, economy and politics, market review, women's series, millennial talk, Islamic Finance Weekly, The Brief, exclusive interviews, events, and we keep you up to date on all the updates in the financial market with the market opening gong. Watch premium content. Watch Web TV. Same news, different perspective.
Welcome back. If you're joining the Economy and Politics Show today, we're discussing investment promotion and economic development in Nigeria. My guest is Mr. Emeka Offor, a director with the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission. So let's begin, Mr. Emeka, with how the NIPC has been carrying out investment promotion activities in the year 2021 so far. As you heard in our news recap for last week, the Senate President has called for more concerted efforts from the executive legislature to explore alternative sources of funding, and this can come through public-private partnerships. I believe NIPC is really at the forefront of investment promotion activities in the country to attract capital into the economy. How has it been so far?
Thank you, David. Let me start by saying, for the benefit of those who may not be too conversant, NIPC, the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, is the agency of the federal government of Nigeria that has a mandate to encourage, promote, and coordinate investments in Nigeria. Basically, we try to focus on positioning and projecting Nigeria for a positive image in such a way that investors, existing and prospective investors, will have a good feel about Nigeria's investment. We do this by providing information that will enable them to take informed decision. We also look at investment promotion activities whereby we directly or in a general manner promote Nigeria's investment prospect. Technically, we market Nigeria so that investors choose Nigeria and invest in Nigeria. We also do facilitation services whereby we can hold these investors or prospective investors through the process of realizing their investment aspirations. And we also offer incentives to support them to ensure that they are better ready provide or facilitate investment. Back to your question. In 2019, 2020, rather, COVID happened. And COVID affected the cost of things, not only in Nigeria. Restrictions were imposed by government in order to respond to the impact of COVID-19. But it meant so many different things to different investors took advantage of the opportunities created by the pandemic to grow their business. So there were companies that are investors or businesses that had positive situations. There are others that were losers, while the rest were winners. So in NIPC, for instance, fortunately for us, we were able to proactively, just before the COVID, enhance our capacity to provide service to investors through electronic means. So when the restrictions happened, when COVID-19 happened, we were able to respond to investor needs through virtual electronic means. That helped us. I would also like to say that despite the challenges posed by COVID, we have been able to continue to build synergy across the public and private sector. Investment promotion is not something that can be done by sole effort. It requires engagement with stakeholders. So what we were able to do within the COVID era was to use both virtual and on-site means to engage and build this across stakeholders. We'll continue to partner and participate in investment promotion activities, business investment forum, stakeholder engagement. Some of them we were able to do on-site, the bulk of them were virtual. And we did not want to lose any space, ensuring that investors are engaged. So we see that even though the engagements were not as intense as they were pre-COVID, within the constraints, we were able to engage stakeholders and investors in order to move our investment direction. So as the restrictions are lifted, we expect that there should be an increase in investment.
Okay, that's fair enough to hear how you've been able to continue to engage on-site and, like you said, virtually. It's very important. I also am aware that there have been very robust engagement with parastatals like the Bureau of Public Enterprises and even other very relevant agencies in terms of trying to achieve what has been a challenge for Nigeria, privatizing and bringing on scale for attracting investments, state-owned enterprises. Would you like to share one or two experiences from that and what we should expect? Because it's been a debate and we've discussed consistently, I can say, for over 3 decades, even when we had the technical committee for privatization and commercialization.
So we see investment promotion improving the business environment, attracting investments to Nigeria as something that should be done by the whole of government. So in NIPC, we've continued to collaborate with different agencies. With attraction of foreign capital into any economy has been very intense, even before COVID-19 happened. Right now that we're in the COVID era, this has different countries try to get means of attracting investment to their countries, their economies, to create jobs. So in NIPC, we recognize this and we've continued to partner and cooperate with for the Bureau of Private Public Enterprise, BPE, which is currently working on the sale of government assets so that they'll better money and attract some. We're working with them to ensure that the process attracts the type of investors. NIPC has what we call the RIPS prize to look at how Nigeria, Orange Nigeria is an initiative that tries to get Nigeria to attract responsible, balanced, and sustainable investment. So we call it RIPS. So we are working with the BP to ensure that those who will be interested in Nigeria's critical government critical asset are those that will be philosophy. We are also working with the Nigeria Governors Forum and the NESG, who are currently packaging the economic ramp of national competitiveness for the states to enhance the capacity of states, investment promotion agents to do their jobs, attract investment. We are working and even hosting the Enabling Business Environment Secretariat, EBS, to deliver. It's true that the World Bank may have lost their ranking.
Yes, the global ranking.
Yes, the ranking. But for us, it is not just about ranking, it's about improving the business environment. That is the critical thing for us. So we will continue to work with the EBS on PEBEC to ensure that we live on the ease of doing so that investors will come to realize their aspiration.
And you know that, like you rightly said, the World Bank ease of doing business ranking has been discontinued. But apart from that, the collaboration with MDAs are very important. For example, the NIPC may meet investors, let's say, for example, Switzerland, and they come in. There has to be a connection, there has to be synergy with maybe, say, immigration, customs, a one-stop hub process for any investor coming in, that once the NIPC says, good, we can come in, there's a synergy with other related agencies. Would you say it has been seamless so far? The executive order signed by the president, has it been that effective? What areas would you like to see improvements based on the remarkable work I would say you've been doing in terms of, I look out, I see the investment announcements you make, you even show some sectors, opportunities, and like you rightly said, state investment promotion offices, some states are taking that up effectively.
Yes, we'll continue to work with the NGA because ultimately we are all looking for investors bringing hired capital. There may be hitches here and there, and but it's recognized that all NGA have the interest of when there are, but we also have different mandates. We need to recognize that.
Yes.
Some of them are regulators and have to work in line.
Yes.
So what we try to do, we have what we call OC Club, NIPC. OC Club is a platform where we resolve investor challenges. For instance, if an investor has an issue, a government agency, ministry, or and we get to know about, we will constitute the OC Club, which will just agencies that are relevant to take. We sit in a room with the investor and address it. So when everybody hears the situation from different angles, it's easier for all of us and put in place a solution. And some of these will also help in getting a solution for the industry. And it has been very effective, able to use that lab to resolve. On a general level, also, we work closely with NDA, handle some of so that we'll be able to better advise government.
Okay, I like that. Working with them is very important. Working closely, everyone serves different interests, but like you rightly said, it's very important that we harmonize those interests to attract investment, because at the moment, we're not doing so well in attracting investment. I mean, as last year, the FDIs, you know how it has gone, Mr. Emeka, but definitely we appreciate the efforts and we want to see more traction in that regard. Let's look at leveraging strategic trade and investment summits. I know that Nigeria, UK have summits. We have with several other countries. How is NIPC leveraging that to create that one-stop hub where the trade facilitation and investments can be strengthened and catalyzed? For example, there are some chambers of commerce, Nigerian Business Chamber of Commerce, Nigerian South Africa Chamber of Commerce, where they're trying to do trade facilitation between those countries, UK and South Africa. And UK is even one of the biggest source of investment into Nigeria. How are you leveraging those channels to also improve investment promotion?
So NIPC went through a diligent process to identify what we call countries. UK is one of those, because we may not have the resources to focus and deepen relations. So we identify those countries and with them. Leverage on, you mentioned UK as very important. UK is one of those countries. We were in UK early last year, January, and during that event, we were able to engage prospective investors. Some of them signed, and some of them indicated interest in investing in. And we have now moved to a level where we are engaging them to ensure and encourage them to invest. We're also doing this. So for each country, we see a situation whereby we now, in order to deepen the relationship, we ask ourselves certain questions. Who are those that will help us achieve investment aspiration in UK, for example? So we look at their own agencies of government, especially in outward investment group. So they are looking for countries to invest in. So we engage them. We are looking at chambers of commerce and other government or public or private sector organizations that operate to bring investment. Some of them are looking for where to invest, especially with Brexit. They're looking for countries to invest, and we are positioning ourselves. It's not just for UK, it's the same with all other. When I say we identify strategic countries, investment and economic importance in Nigeria, it does not mean that we not look at it. Just that, yes, because we have limited resources, we are focusing to be able to find the return. You mentioned something about the FDI fee.
Yeah.
I would like to say that usually, if you look at historically, whenever we have a spike attracting capital into them, it's been because government instituted significant reforms. For instance, with sale of GSM license, sale of oil assets, and so on and so forth. But I would also like to mention that it is not all blue, but it is not all blue. Because if you look at the figures for 2020 as released by World Investment, Nigeria, there was a contraction in capital flow globally. That contraction was to the level of about 35%. So, which means that most countries across the globe, because of the impact of the pandemic, recorded. But Nigeria was one of the very few countries, economies in the world, that recorded growth. FDI attraction. It was a growth of just 3%, but a growth of 3% against 2019. It may not be very impressive, better than the. So I agree with you. And NIPC is positioned. We have been publishing a report of investment announcement, which gives us a sense of investors' interest in Nigeria. So they are not yet actually investing, but these investors have gone through a process of all the countries we want to invest in. The sector we want. They may not know the location at this, they may know the location, but they are saying we are interested in investing in Nigeria.
All right, so that's been a very interesting conversation with you, Mr. Emeka Offor. I know that, like you rightly said, globally there were contractions in attracting capital, but there's a lot of room for Nigeria to improve. And like you rightly said, I'll take a cue for what you said, reforms are very key. So definitely, NIPC is committed, but we need those reforms. We're in very challenging economic times, but I believe with the bold reforms, with the synergy amongst agencies of government, especially NIPC, we can really attract more capital to support our economy, create opportunities for people, and address issues like poverty. Thank you once again, Mr. Emeka Offor, Director of Nigeria Investment Promotion Commission, for the time to discuss around investment promotion and economic development in Nigeria. It was nice having you on the show. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And that'll be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions on how we can improve investments into Nigeria and how it connects to economic development, send your views, questions, or comments to otobasi.abasekong@proshng.com. Also join our website, www.proshng.com, to read our latest news, articles, and stories around investment promotion in Nigeria. We have them fully covered for you. Issues around NIPC, activities with other key agencies of government as it has to do with investments. We have them all captured when you visit our website. You can also engage us through our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you for being part of the show, and don't forget that this period you need to stay safe. So if you come your way again, thank you for watching, and bye for now.